It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. In today's video titled, The Eiffel Tower Dream Conclusion, what specific date was this dream depicting? And I've shared this dream in two different videos as I did my research and as I prayed more about it, more things that God began to reveal to me. But there was a portion of this dream that I was not able to fully understand. And moving out of last year into this year, I feel that God has finally given me that understanding of that small portion, yet very important part of this dream. And here's the video, the original video where I originally shared this dream. If you want to check that out to look at the dream in its entirety. In this video, I'm only going to focus on that one part. And hopefully in the end, it will all make sense. Before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God has given me as it relates to crypto. Now, let's get into the video. So again, you have to go back and watch that video. But what I want to do is just take a look at the quick history. This I shared in that first video, but I'm going to quickly share it here. The Eiffel Tower was known as the tallest man-made structure in the world until October 23rd, 1929. Why? What happened? Well, the Chrysler building was topped out. So it was given a little oomph, which made it a little bit taller than the Eiffel Tower. And this topping or topped off portion of this Chrysler building happened 6 days before October 29, 1929. Well, that date is important because that date is associated with the stock market crash of 1929. So right off the bat, I knew that God was connecting this Eiffel Tower dream to something to do with a stock market crash. But again, the Eiffel Tower was the tallest man-made structure in the world until 6 days before October 29, 1929, when the Chrysler building became the tallest in the world. So keep that in your mind. Stock market crash, 1929, October 29. So not only did I see a market crashing in this dream, or a huge red arrow dropping very fast through this Eiffel Tower in this dream, I also realize now, based on my research and history for the Eiffel Tower, that this is possibly a leading indicator to some type of crash or collapse. And that takes us down at the bottom here to the keys for October. And there are 4 components here that I put together as God has given me the understanding of what October 17th represents and what it really means. And we're looking at this as a leading indicator, a leading factor to a crash or a collapse. Right now, it's leading to the 1929 crypto market crash, or 1929 market crash. But where else is it leading us? It was another dream that I had based on my research. It took me to a space and time where there was a date in which something took place before the October 1929 market crash. And that dream was Baltimore, Ohio. The dream about Baltimore, Ohio. And in doing my research, I found out quite a few things. But let's compare the two dreams, Baltimore, Ohio, and the Eiffel Tower. In both of these dreams, I saw a train. It was something dealing with a train. And then, of course, my research led me to an event taking place within very close proximity to the date of October 29, 1929, which again is the date that the market crash took place. And what were these events? These events for the Baltimore, Ohio dream had all to do with the B&O Railroad and how an individual purchased a stock certificate 5 days before this October 29th, 1929 market crash took place. Moving over to the Eiffel Tower side, again, we've already explained that it was the tallest man-made structure in the world until 6 days before the October 29th, 1929 market crash took place. So these are the similarities between these two dreams. But moving forward, the Baltimore, Ohio dream was leading me to the October 29th, 1929 market crash. It was a leading indicator to a crash. What God revealed to me in that dream helped me to derive a date, which was the date that the Japan market crash happened last year. And here are the two videos where, if you want to go back and hear this Baltimore, Ohio dream in detail, the October 17th, round 2, that video goes along with the follow-up video to Baltimore, Ohio confirmation. And so both of these videos together will give an explanation of what I felt God was revealing to me based on what I saw in this dream. So here we are now, moving forward with the Eiffel Tower dream. What is new? What has God revealed to me about that small portion in this dream that I could not understand? Well, I had this dream on September the 18th, 2024. And that small but very important detail in this dream that I did not understand until just recently, yesterday, the 10th, was the S&P. Understanding something about the S&P. I looked at this Eiffel Tower and it was something about the tippy top of this tower, and I understood it to mean something to do with the S&P 500 and the price of 667. And so I've shared the ins and outs of what I felt God was showing me. It could be this, it could be that. Still praying about it. It never sat right with me until now. So what were the things that God revealed? Well, one, I found out that the Eiffel Tower, as it relates to the S&P and the stock market and all that kind of thing, the Eiffel Tower is a type of trading pattern. I did not know that until I began to do my research. And shortly after I found that out, another YouTuber that I normally listen to quite often, I was looking at his video on December 15th of last year, and he mentioned this trading pattern. I had heard no one talking about it. I had did much research to somehow come across this Eiffel Tower trading pattern. And here he is in his video only a few days later talking about this Eiffel Tower trading pattern. And a few of you may know Johnny Bravo, real cool guy. I enjoy watching his videos. Very entertaining. So that I knew. I understood that part. God had given me a little bit and I felt okay about that. Okay. Eiffel Tower trading pattern. Okay. But what else about this S&P 500? And so as I began to do my research on yesterday, for whatever reason, this fell in my mind and heart again to just go back and look, take another look. And when I did, I found out something about the dot-com bubble. The S&P 500, a benchmark for the U.S. stock market, dipped to a low of 667. There's that number. In 2009, at the worst point of the financial crisis, before experiencing a strong 12-year ascent. And then it goes on to say that the S&P fell from a peak of 1,552 during the dot-com bubble in 2000 to a low of 667 in 2009, coinciding with the financial crisis. And so when I saw this, whatever, I can't even tell you what I typed in to even Google search this. I was doing a combination of different things that relates to S&P 500 and the number 667. And so when I saw this, I automatically knew, God, there is no way that this time in history marks an exact price that you showed me in a dream. So the popping of this dot-com bubble occurred or began on March the 10th, 2000, which was exactly 25 years ago to the day I did the research on this. I do not think that is a coincidence. I think it was God's timing to make this experience and to make this finding greater. More magnificent. I've had since September to come across this dot-com bubble burst information, but God waits until March the 10th, 2025, the exact date that this thing began on, in order for me to find this out. Not a coincidence. So not only is the Eiffel Tower dream showing me or depicting a crash, seeing that red arrow fall through the Eiffel Tower, now the history of the making of this Eiffel Tower and the height of it, the tallest man-made structure in the world. Not only did that take place around the time when the first stock market crash took place on October 29th, 1929, but now I'm looking at another crash or a prolonged drop in the market as it deals with the S&P 500. And this drop just so happened to go down to the number that I saw in my dream, 667. So here is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking God is piecing this together to show me that this drop that's going to take place is going to happen over a period of time rather than happening, let's say, a flash crash. This is what the portion that I'm praying about now. Instead of it being a flash crash, are we going to be experiencing something that's going to take place not something like a dot-com bubble, but the drop of the S&P 500 or the drop of the stock market that's going to happen over a course of time versus being a flash crash or something that's going to take place and be done for in a week. And looking back at how things have been transpiring from January up until now, we've seen the market itself fall gradually day by day based on the information that we've been getting in the news about tariffs and war and just all the commotion and everything that's been going on within our government the past few weeks. So 25 years to the exact date that this dot-com bubble began to fall or began to burst, we see that March the 10th, 2025, just yesterday, what happened to the markets. I know the markets have been going down a whole lot day by day, but the market dropped a whole lot yesterday just in one day alone. So again, my conclusion about this Eiffel Tower dream is that the Eiffel Tower is representing a trading pattern where you see the top of the tower represents the highest, as high as it's going to go before it begins to turn down. The S&P and the price of 667 represent a destination. Although I knew or I could see in my mind or understand that it correlated with the top, it represented a destination as to where it was going to fall to. So you're up high, but you're going to fall down to 667, all the way up into 2009. And so overall, seeing what I saw in this dream based on my research, in both cases, what I just found out about the dot-com bubble as well as the Eiffel Tower being a trading pattern, all this is a leading indicator for me to some type of crash or collapse. And it's not a coincidence that on March 10th, 2025, this year, we saw a major drop in the markets. Not a coincidence that it happened on the anniversary of the date that this thing began to drop in 2000. And so this is what I feel is the conclusion of what God wants me to understand about this dream. That it's depicting a crash on both sides. It's depicting a crash in the dream. It's depicting a crash in the history of the Eiffel Tower. And it's depicting a crash based on the history of what I now know about the dot-com bubble. And that special date of March the 10th, 2000. These are all what I would call leading factors leading up to a crash or a collapse in the market for the purpose of this video. Or for the purpose of this stream, I crashed within the market, and we saw that occur on March the 10th, 2025. Well, that is all that I have for this video. I hope and pray that everything makes sense. I hope and pray that this is inspiring to someone as it is inspiring to me. I know that God reveals again on His perfect timing. His timing is impeccable. And this is what keeps me going. This is what keeps me encouraged. And I pray that it builds someone's faith, even during these tough times when we see red in the market, or as they say, blood in the street. But God is caring, and He's thoughtful enough to give us these things, to keep our hearts and mind encouraged, letting us know that He has our backs, that He has our best interests at heart. He always gives warning before destruction. It is up to us to pray about these things and ask God to show us how to prepare for these hard times so we will come out successful on the other side in Jesus' name. That is all that I have for this video. Until the next one, God bless.